Welcome back, everybody. Take a break with Stephen Shamus.
Good to see you, my friend. How's it going today?
Wonderful. Again, we kind of matched with the gray colored shirts. We're not doing it on purpose.
What's on your shirt, by the way?
Mine is Princess or Queen
Amidala.
Amidala.
Queen Amidala.
Yeah.
Your big shot over there.
Natalie Portman herself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. All right, Alex, what do we got today?
We're gonna get right into it. Some big books, some really fire books. We have to talk about Kang because I finally finished Loki, and
thank God, I didn't want to spoil it for you.
I know you're very kind gentleman.
This is wild. The two of you, same person. I mean, wow.
I watch it Wednesday night. You watch it Tuesday at midnight. So it was hard. It was hard to get our things crossed. Talk a little Kang. Talk a little DMZ. I think one of the last big Vertigo books. One of the last few. And then of course we were talking about our man Warlock, who has been on the Adam Warlock, who's been like the will he won't they of the Marvel universe since I think Thanos' first appearance.
High Priestess. The council is waiting.
They are perturbed I've wasted our resources. When they see what I have created here, their wrath will dissipate.
It's a new type of birthing pod, man?
That, my child, is the next step in our evolution. More powerful, more beautiful. More capable of destroying the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I shall call him Adam.
It's amazing. Every day there's like new casting announcements, and I'm like, what character are they playing? What this? What that?
Yep.
And I think you're going to start to see the Hulk and She-Hulk, and it's like, okay, Abomination is coming back, and then who's coming back for Spider-Man 3, and who's coming back for this one, and who's and then I'm looking at Shang-Chi, like. I saw the toy lines for Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a character called Death Dealer.
Yeah.
Alex, what's going on there?
And this is what it is. This is the spec universe,
So it's like, boom, like forget about it. It's game over now. And by the way, you go on IMDb, it's not clear who's playing the character.
They won't now. They won't tell them. They won't tell.
Right.
People.
So it's probably part of some sort of plot twist. So it's like you have all these actors. It could be any of them.
Yep. It reminds me of what is it? Iron Man, was it 2 or 3? 2 with the Mandarin. Remember the Mandarin was a big deal. Not really the Mandarin. So
yeah, very cool. All right, what are we starting out with today, Alex?
Let's go ahead and talk about Adam Warlock, the darling of the MCU that everybody's hoping and praying will show up.
Again, it's amazing to me how Marvel has been able to mine the library. Like sometimes it's like, oh, this character is from 2011. Sometimes the characters from 2016. Sometimes characters from 2000. And then sometimes they go back into the 60s and 70s.
Right.
So it's very interesting the way they mine these characters. I wonder if they just have like a librarian or a historian there that says, we need a character that has this power, this power, this power, this weakness, or whatever. And then they like kind of say, well, these are 4 or 5 choices you have.
I think they have giant spinning wheels, right, with the poker down the middle, and they have every character ever, and they just spin them and wait for it to land and go, okay, King the Conqueror. That's what we're doing next.
So you think it's Vanna White, Pat Sajak style?
100%. Yeah, it is Wheel of Fortune style giant wheel. Yeah.
Could be. Listen, your guess is as good as any.
Right.
So Adam Warlock is from 1967. Alex, why the speculation now? Why the run up on the prices now? Why the speculation now?
Well, I mean, when you think of Adam Warlock in just the Marvel comic books, he has been part of the cosmic scene since the 60s. I mean, this is a Stan Lee, Jack Kirby character. This is a character that has, when you talk about Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos stuff in the regular Marvel comics, Adam Warlock's there. He's been around forever. I mean, like the Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, Infinity Crusade, Infinity Watch, like that whole series. Adam Warlock was a prominent character, and we haven't seen him in the MCU. And I think a lot of people you know, you have Gamora, you have Drax the Destroyer, you have Thanos, you have almost everybody that his, you know, his supporting cast is in the MCU, and why not Adam Warlock? I mean, he could fit into that cosmic stuff. And I definitely think you're going to see a lot more cosmic Marvel stuff. I mean, that's the way to go. You can open up in the once you go to space. I mean, there's so much you can do.
Right.
And also, you know, Adam Warlock in the comic books, he had the Soul Stone on his head. Like, he was the keeper of the Soul Stone. So to not have him in these movies, you know, it's completely understandable. It's a whole new character, but I mean, eventually he's got to come into this fold.
Right. Okay. So you've got October of 1967, Fantastic Four number 67.
Yeah.
Again, it's a very, very old book. You're not going to pull out a lot of 9/8s or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's 12 blue label and 0 gold label 9/8s. There's 37 blue label and 1 gold label 9/6. There's 85 blue label and 3 gold label 9/4. That book is about $1,600 to $1,800 in 9/2.
Wow.
So 9/2 is kind of affordable-ish. That's the origin and first appearance of him, Warlock, in a cameo. Then his first full appearance, which is double the price,
right,
is not until almost 2 years later, 1969, June of 69, Thor number 165. There are 5 blue label and 0 gold label 9/8s. There's 14 blue label and 1 gold label 9/6. There's 51 blue label and 3 gold label 9/4, and that's about a $3,500 book in 9.2. There's also a Watcher appearance, Stan Lee story, Jack Kirby cover and art, classic Kirby Thor cover. I wonder if that art even exists today. I think that art exists somewhere.
No, not.
By the way, imagine what the
think so.
price. Imagine what the price of that kind of art would go. Right, the Jack
threw
Kirby
them
original.
away. I mean, a lot of that stuff just got tossed.
It's amazing, right? Absolutely stunning that they did that. Okay, then the first appearance of him as Adam Warlock, and the first appearance of the Soul Gem, which you referred to, is Marvel Premiere number 1, 1972, April of 72. So that's another few years later. This book is also kind of expensive. It's almost the same price as FF number 67. There are 10 blue label and 0 gold label 9/8s. There's 69 blue label and 3 gold label 9/6s. So it's starting to creep up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then 150 blue label and 9 gold label 9.4s. That's about a $1,300 book in 9.2. It's a Gil Kane cover, Roy Thomas story. So, you know, again, this is first appearance of Adam Warlock in costume, full appearance. So then we get to his first solo series, which is only 4 months later, Warlock number 1. It's August of 1972. Origin of Warlock. They have Richard Pini, by the way, worked on this book. Roy Thomas story, Gil Kane cover, and this book is crazy expensive, Alex. 9 blue label, 0 gold label 9/8s, 38 blue label, 1 gold label 9/6, 68 blue label, 3 gold label 9.4s. A 9/8 recently has sold between $9,000 and $9,500, which is the current asking price. And it's about $3,500 in 9.2. So it's around the same price as his first appearance in Thor 165.
Yeah, this book is funny. Like you said, Richard Pini and DeMatteis, they actually had letters in the book. They sent fan letters to Marvel, and these are printed in the back of the book, who would later become pros. And I think it's like Fantastic Four number 10 or 11. There's some early J.R.R. Martin. He has a fan letter in the back, and it's signed J.R.R. Martin. So it's like his fan letters in this Fantastic Four book. It's a really funny, like, you got sometimes these old books, like even in the old Wizards, the fan arts, you always look at the names because you never know who's going to pop up.
It's funny. Okay, then you have Warlock Special Edition, which came out 4 months later. Warlock Special Edition number 1, December of 1982. 24 blue label and 4 gold label 9/8s. There's actually 199. That's only about a $300 to $325 book. Not very expensive. Wraparound cover, Jim Starlin cover. So you start to get into the Jim Starlin era with, you know, Thanos and all this other stuff.
Takes off, yeah.
Yep. And then the next book to take a look at is Warlock and the Infinity Watch number 1. That's from February of 1992, 10 years later. There are 207 blue label, 20 gold label 9.8s, and then there's 2 blue label 9.9s. That book sells between $175 and $225.
Wow.
Jim Starlin's story, Angel Medina and Terry Austin, cover and art. Then the next book, which came out a little bit later, Warlock Volume 2, number 1, which is really just reprints Strange Tales, 178 to 180. That's about a $200 book in 9/8. There's 7 blue label, 2 gold label 9/8. Warlock Chronicles, number 1, in July of 93, 38 blue label and 15 gold label 9.8. It's about a $30 book at 9.6. It's hard to find. This is a typical 90s variant special cover. Alex, man. You remember seeing these books.
Yeah, they blind you.
Embossed prism foil. It wasn't enough to be embossed. It wasn't enough to be prism. It wasn't enough to be foil. It had to have all 3.
Yeah.
Tom Rainey cover and art with a Jim Starlin story. So, and then the last couple of books, Warlock number 1 from November of 1988, 3 blue label 9/8, 0 gold label 9/8. That's about a $10 to $12 raw book.
These are hard to find.
Hard to find.
These when you talk about late 90s Marvel, this is bankruptcy territory. And when they were in bankruptcy, they're not overprinting books. These books are tough to find. I think that raw price, when you get, these are books that you would buy a bunch of raw ones and hopefully you get a 9/8, because you are not going to find these books. Extremely tough to find.
Alex, we were talking about this offline. There's been a feeding frenzy at the Comic-Con shows because not every, if you're a dealer and you've had these books sitting in a back issue bin, you're not sitting there having gone through them all, knowing that these books are sitting there, right? You can't possibly go through all these monster boxes of books. Then the last book is from 2004. Warlock number 1, November of 2004, 9 blue label 9/8, 1 gold label 9/8, $5 to $10 raw. Greg Pak story, Charlie Adler art, J.H. Williams cover.
Yeah, these and another thing, this is a fun book because this is pretty much Greg Pak's first big Marvel book. This is his break into the industry book. So,
Mr. World War Hulk.
That's it. Charlie Adler, J.H. Williams III. I mean, you can't get any more powerhouse in the industry.
That's true. It's probably very early Charlie Adler work also. That's pre-Walking Dead, right?
Yep. If not, like maybe the first handful of issues. And then J.H. Williams III, who is, I mean, talk about original art selling powerhouse. This guy's books just selling his art alone. This is a big book. This is a bigger book than I think most people realize.
Right. Okay. What do we got next, Alex?
Little old Vertigo book called DMZ.
Right, and this is going on the air again. Another show that's
HBO picked it up. Yep.
Another show on TV. These books have tripled in value since the announcement. So that's why it's just, you got to pay attention to the stuff.
Yep.
So the first book came out in 2006, and then there was a convention version in 2006 later. Talk a little bit about Matthew Roth and Z, and what is DMZ about?
So DMZ is about a demilitarized zone. That's what DMZ stands for. And the DMZ in this book is Manhattan. And the reason is because there is a second civil war between the United States government and the free states. And, in the book, Manhattan is a DMZ because it was a stalemate between the two sides. So there is no government technically in Manhattan. And it's a story about Matthew Roth, who is a reporter who goes to Manhattan to kind of just like take the stories of who and what are there. And it's funny because if you look at like the numbers in DMZ, it goes from like Manhattan's population to like 1.2 to 3 million people to 400,000 people. And that's a big drop off of a place that has like no government backing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, this book it literally took the plate Why the Last Man ended, DMZ started, and everybody just kind of went from one to the other and kept it going. This was a big book at the time. I remember these books.
Yes, these books were printed in pretty decent quantities. Yes. So DMZ number 1, January of 2006, 80 blue label 9.8s, 9 gold label 9.8s. Before the announcement, they were $120 a 9.8. Now they're $375 a 9.8. And I've even seen 9.6s selling for a couple $100 too. You can't get them. There was a convention edition released in September of 2006. There's only 1 blue label 9.8. There's 0 gold label 9.8s, and that's about an $80 raw book. So these books are very, very hard to find. They're flying
hot.
And Brian Wood is, a very accomplished in his own right. I think he's got a few different shows on, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's one with the boat. I think they're doing. There's a couple of them. Yeah.
All right, Alex. Alex's pick of the week. What do we got?
So I'm gonna talk about McDonald's because I just love all their stupid stuff. I can't help it. I can't help it. I really can't.
I see you posting on Facebook all this happiness stuff.
Well, this is nothing to do with my pick of the week, but I just got some Asterix McDonald's boxes, which
I saw that.
they were never, the US doesn't know who Asterix is. So these were European McDonald's boxes that I got from here.
Okay,
so
cool.
Yeah, you're never gonna find those. But doing research on boxes and toys and everything, it's just funny how what hits, what doesn't hit, and what you can sell and what doesn't matter. And I think one of the things with like McDonald's toys, and a friend who sells like used books told me this, it's all about the sets. It's not the single books. So like, for example, if you have Harry Potter books and you're selling them at, on eBay, someone might want one of the Harry Potter books, but if you have the whole set of hardcovers, that's going to go for way more than what each individual book's going to go for. And it rings true for Happy Meal toys. I mean, that stuff is like $1.50 per toy, but if you have a full set of that run of toys, you can fetch some good money. For example, I think the most current one is Luca, the Pixar movie, which is an amazing movie.
By the way, I really enjoyed that movie.
It's a fantastic movie, and
they did a really good job with that.
I
did. By the way, I have to tell you something. I'm going to interrupt you for 1 minute.
By all means,
because you brought up, it was one of those things where I didn't have anything to watch that night.
Right.
I was like, all right, I'll watch Luca. Yeah. And it was terrific. It sucked me right in.
Phenomenal movie. Very quick.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Very, very, very great movie. But like the set of those toys is only like 8-9 toys. They go for $80.
Wow.
And you go to McDonald's, you can get them for $5. But that's the thing. If you're a kid and you want the whole set, if you're an adult and you're trying to relive your childhood, you want the whole set. One of the big ones is like the old Fraggle Rock toys. They didn't make a lot of merch. I mean, come on, can't get any better than that show. McDonald's had Fraggles in cars, and that was it. It was like little race cars. Alone, they're like a couple bucks. You get a whole set. You're looking at $100 for the whole set because no one has to hunt down each individual one. I mean, it's a big deal, and I think you'll see a lot of that when you're selling. When you go to shows, you'll see not DMZ, but you'll see sets of stuff in dollar bins, here and there, and then you see a whole set of, like, let's say the 80s DC Blue Beetle. The whole set you're going to get for $100. Each individual book, you're probably going to get 50 cents to $1. Sets are the way to go on stuff that's like a collectible thing. I think you get more money for it.
Yeah. All right. What are we closing out with today, Alex?
Him at the end of the universe, he who remains, Rama Tut, Kang the Conqueror, our favorite.
It was killing me not to talk to you about this.
I know.
It was killing me. I was dying inside.
I didn't expect it. I mean, it was out of left field for me, and I had to do a double take because they kept saying it, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And then you see the guy, and you're like, wait, isn't that the guy? That's the guy from Lovecraft Country. Isn't he supposed to be Kang and Ant-Man? Like they announced that. The movie's not coming out for another 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And here we are.
This was great. So first appearance of Kang the Conqueror, 1964. Talk a little bit about who Kang the Conqueror is, and is what we saw in Loki consistent with the character from the book? Did they modify it at all? What are there changes there? And what do we expect from Kang? And this character is going to be like the new Thanos, right?
I think so. I think he's going to be the new bad for a long time coming. But yeah, I mean, is he the same as the one in the comic books? We don't know. I mean, the beautiful thing about Kang the Conqueror in the comics is there's so many different Kang the Conquerors because he's a time traveler, and you do one thing in this timeline and it veers off, and there's a different Kang. I mean, what the character said in the show is he was the last one. If you kill me, more are going to come because I've fixed everything. That's true in the comics. There's Iron Lad, who is a younger version of Kang the Conqueror, who is a young Avenger. There is the Silver Centurion, who's a Kang the Conqueror. Rama Tut, is a Kang the Conqueror. I mean, these are all spin-offs of the same person because they're from different universes, different timelines. The best part, I think, is Rama Tut, who was the original Kang before he became Kang is Nathaniel Richards, who is a descendant of Mr. Fantastic. You know, this could be the way they bring in Fantastic Four. You know, I mean, King the Conqueror is a descendant of Reed Richards. It's Nathaniel Richards. That's it. So
well, this book is gonna, you know, you've got this book has got years of price.
We have 3
increase.
years before Ant-Man.
Right,
so.
right. So Avengers number 8, September of 64. Again, you're not gonna have a lot of high grades. 4 blue label, 0 gold label 9.8s. There are 14 blue label 0 9.6s on the golds, 26 blue label and 1 gold label 9.4, 37 and 0 on 9.2, 70 and 4 on 9.0.
Wow.
9.4s are around 10,000. 9.2s are around 8,500. 9.0s are around $5,000. To get to under $1,000, you need a 4 or 5. Hard to find clean copies in 4 or 5. I find that for my eyes, my eye aesthetic, 7.0 is really the last grade that you can get clean without all the spine ticks.
Yep.
You can find 7.0s without spine ticks.
Yep.
Like a whole plethora of them. 4 or 5 is definitely a little bit lower, but I would shoot for a 7.0 if you can find one and afford it. Yep. First appearance of Kang the Conqueror, Stan Lee's story again, and what a surprise, Jack Kirby artwork. Then next appearance, Avengers number 11, December of 64. 3 blue label 9.8s, 0 gold label 9.8s, 26 blue label and 2 gold label 9.6s, 44 blue label, 2 gold label 9.4s, 49 blue label, 2 gold label 9.2s, and 65 blue label and 3 gold 9.0s. That book is about $1,200 in 8.0. You can't even find it in any other condition. It's also got an early Spider-Man appearance, Kang appearance, and pinup. Stan Lee's story, again, a Jack Kirby cover. Then Avengers number 129, November of 74, 10 years later. We're going to go through some of the big Kang appearances in Marvel.
These are
now.
big ones. Yeah.
23 blue label 9.8s, 0 gold label 9.8s, 34 blue label and 0 gold label 9.6s, 18 blue label and 2 gold label 9.4s, 21 blue label and 0 gold label 9.2s. That book is about $650 in 9.8, going up. That book is like really increasing. Yeah. So about $150 in 9.4. And here's where you come in. Kang appearance, Rama Tut cameo on last page. Continues in giant size Avengers number 2, Steve Englehart story, Sal Buscema, Joe Staten art, Ron Wilson and Al Milgrom cover. So again, that's where you start to see Rama Tut. Then the other big covers, Alex, Avengers 267.
Oh, these are great.
May of 86. I'm looking at all the big Kang covers.
Yeah.
26 blue label 9.8s, 1 gold label 9.8. That book is now $85 to $100 raw. It's probably the nicest of the Kang covers. John Buscema cover with Tom Palmer inks. Then you have Avengers 269. A couple months later, July of 86. 21 blue label, 0 gold label 9.8s. That book is about $200 in 9.8. Again, it's a John Buscema cover, also a pretty awesome cover. And then the last book that I want to talk about today, Avengers Forever number 1, December of 98. 10 blue label 9.8s, 2 gold label 9.8s. That's about a $700 book, $200 raw.
Crazy.
Kurt Busiek story, Carlos Pacheco artwork with a George Perez cover. It's an unbelievable cover. Yes. And that seems to be a book from the modern era that everyone seems to be sort of latching onto.
Dollar books 10 years ago. 100%.
It's funny, if you go to
100%.
Comic-Cons now, you'll be able to find some of these books in the cheapo boxes, Alex, because not everybody...
Avengers Forever was a go-to complete set run that dealers would sell all the time. Easy set, easy $20, easy $15. Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, that does it for another show. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comment section. And we thank you for joining us once again. Alex, thank you. We'll see everybody next week. Same bat time.
Same bat channel. Thanks, guys.